Okay.
Shall we start then?
It's entirely up to you. If you want to start now, I am happy for you to do so. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I think it's 5 o'clock, so we'll start, yeah?
Okay, I will stop the share and you are happy to share at your end. Is that right?
That's right, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay.
Okay, so hello everybody and welcome to our 4th or 5th webinar, I think, in our series of free CPD webinars based on the ICQ qualifications and the EYFS. So welcome everybody. I'm Sarah from the International Education Group, and Jackie from the International Education Group will be joining us as well. And thanks to Hala, who is hosting this webinar. So I'm now going to share my screen. Someone would let me know when it comes up if that's working fine.
Yes, I can see it now. Yeah.
You can see it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, go away, that's right. So, okay. Right, so the topic of the webinar today is creative activities in early years. And everything is based upon the ICQ Early Years Educator qualifications and the EYFS, and I'll tell you a bit more about them later on. But these diplomas are for the Early Years Educator and prepare people to work in early years education with children from birth to 5 years old. And it enables learners to enter the workforce as early years educators. They're actually a licence to practice in the UK, so they're the required qualification by the government. I'll tell you more a bit later on.
Can I just stress on this point, please, Sarah, because colleagues need to be aware that the ICQ, which you are presenting part of it today in terms of creative activities, will give you the license to practice in the UK. So this is quite an important just point to bear in mind. And I'll translate it إن المؤهلات دي اللي بياخد حق العمل في إنجلترا في حضانات والبري سكولز بتاعت إنجلترا. Sorry, I'm not going to interrupt you again, but I want to just to make this clear for everybody. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes, so as Hala said, as they are licensed to practice in the UK, they come with enhanced opportunities and enhanced career opportunities. So we'd had a little look around really just because people had asked us, you know, what can you do, what roles can you go into if you wanted to come to the UK? And the kinds of roles that you can go into with the level 3 are things like nursery assistant, teaching assistant, private nanny, early years educator, and these are just some examples of some of the job roles and the salaries that go with them. So they're licensed to practice within the UK, and they are recognised within Europe because they are mapped against the European qualification framework, and they come out actually at level 4. But they're also recognised in other countries around the world as well. We looked at Nursery World, which is one of the main magazines from the early years sector here in the UK, to find out, you know, how many job opportunities there were out there. And they had reported in March 2020 that more than 1 in 4 settings, that's 29%, were actively recruiting at the time. They did a survey and they found 14,700 vacancies, and most of these vacancies were for level 3 staff. So that's nearly 8,000 posts. So there's a lot of opportunities within the sector. And we had a little look around at some of the job adverts and opportunities that were coming up again, which again show you the kinds of things that people are recruiting for. These are in and around London, and you can see the salary packages that go with them. But there's numerous. So when we looked on this particular recruitment website, totaljobs.com, there were 189 early years practitioner jobs within 10 miles of North London. So there's a lot of people recruiting for early years practitioners. Now, another thing is we will be sending out a Survey Monkey to you. whilst the webinar is actually taking place. Now, this is really useful for us. It's only 6 or 7 questions. We'd be really grateful if you could complete it, because it gives us information, helps us understand what your needs are, and you know, what information you'd like sent out to you, and also to know what future topics you'd like webinars developed upon. So we'd be really grateful if you would complete that when you receive that. Could I just ask that people actually mute if there's any background noise while the webinar's taking place, please? Because I can hear a little bit of background noise. Okay, so
it's the Zoom. Oh, that's it. Done.
So this webinar we'll be looking at the importance of creativity in early childhood education. We'll be looking at and exploring how to plan activities that use creative skills to create learning and development opportunities with children. We look at how creative opportunities actually support children's development in a range of areas, and make lots of links to the EYFS curriculum. And we're going to provide you with a range of activities and resources that you can take away and use in your settings. There will be a certificate of attendance for the webinar. We'll tell you more about that at the end, and how you can actually purchase your certificate of attendance if you do want one. Okay, so the importance of creativity in early childhood education. So to start off, I just want you to have a little bit of individual reflection, really, and have a think back over the past couple of weeks and identify as many different creative activities that you have planned or undertaken with children. What kinds of things have you been doing, either in your setting, if it's open, or with children at home? So to have a think about that. And then to have a think about creative play has many developmental benefits. And which ones can you actually identify? Which ones spring to mind when you think about creativity? And then for the third thing to reflect on is, what are your favourite creative activities that you actually undertake with children? Everybody's got a particular favourite that they enjoy doing. And what's yours? So maybe that's something you could put into the chat whilst the webinar is on. And tell us, what are your favourite creative activities you enjoy doing? So the importance of the creative process in early years and early childhood. So creativity is essential for children's self-expression. It really enables children to express and cope with their feelings. Children that maybe cannot verbalise things, creativity is a way of enabling them to do that. Creativity enables educators to learn more about what a child may be thinking or feeling. And it provides us with lots of opportunities for trying out new ideas, new ways of thinking and problem solving. It also contributes to celebrating children's diversity, because all children are unique, and we can focus upon the uniqueness of that child. And it provides many opportunities to personalise teaching and focus upon the unique child. So all children really need to be creative is really the freedom to be able to commit themselves completely to the process and the effort, and to make whatever that activity is that they're doing their own. So it's very much about the process, as we will discover as we move through the webinar. Okay, so what is creativity? Creativity focuses upon the process of forming original ideas through exploration and discovery. It's a really useful skill to have throughout life. Children's creativity develops from their engagement with the process rather than the finished product. Again, this is something that we will see further on. Creativity is not to be confused with talent or skill or intelligence. It's not about doing something better than others. It's about thinking, exploring, discovering, and imagining. And everybody can do that. So creativity is found in the obvious places that we know of in terms of art and dance and music, but we can also find it in places like science, and play. So creativity, it comes into and enhances all areas of learning and development in early years. So you may be wondering what the EYFS is. Well, that's the early years foundation stage. These are the standards that schools and childcare providers must meet for learning and development and care of children from birth to 5 years old. So it sets out the standards that we must meet, and it ensures that children reach their milestones, their personal development, their communication skills, their problem solving, physical and creative development. So this means that creativity is most definitely in the EYFS. As I said, there are 7 sections, and one is called Expressive Arts and Design. So in the EYFS framework, this challenges practitioners to enable children to safely use and explore a variety of materials, tools, and techniques, experimenting with colour, design, texture, form and function to represent their own ideas, thoughts and feelings through art. So, you know, it is used really to help children to develop their imagination, develop their creativity and their ability to use different media and materials. So it can be such a wide range of things. You know, we could be looking at songs, music, dancing, colours, textures, all of which will help children to represent and understand their own feelings. So here we are, we can see the 7 learning areas of the EYFS, and we can see that creativity can be seen in all of them and can be involved in all 7 areas of learning and development. The EYFS specifically says that creating and thinking creatively is a characteristic of effective learning. So children can have their own ideas, they can make lots of links, they can come up with new ways of doing things, new ways of problem solving and choosing ways to actually do things themselves, taking that responsibility. So creative play and creativity, you know, these are key opportunities really to think flexibly, to make links, and we need to really create these rich play environments using the resources, enabling children to have choices and supporting them with that kind of warm and supportive relationship. So creative play is sometimes known as role play and imaginative play. It's something that's very versatile. It's something that's a powerful learning tool. It can be undertaken with recycled and very, very cheap resources, and there's also lots of fun. So we mustn't really underestimate the importance and power of creative play. And we can use many, many sort of everyday resources that are around us, like recycled items, or we can make simple resources cheaply and effectively with things like water basins or sand or mud kitchens, places where children can ensure they immerse themselves in their own imaginary world, really. And this all supports their physical, social and cognitive development whilst having, of course, lots of fun. So what are creative activities? Not just arts and crafts, drama and role play, music, movement and dance. We're also thinking about things like construction and building play. We're thinking about sensory play. Younger children especially enjoy the sensory feel of paint and other materials. We're thinking about creative and imaginary play, such as it can be done individually or in groups, dressing up, role play, home corners, small world play with miniature models, you know, of people, animals, vehicles, etc. Covers a very, very wide range of areas. So how important is creative learning in early years education? We had a look, and some research and leading thinkers have said this, that children with access to creative learning in early years education are more likely to succeed in adult life by developing the skills they need to perform in the workplace and wider society as entrepreneurs and citizens. So, you know, creativity skills can be used much further into life, really. And I've put a link there so you can see where that comes from. So now moving on to planning activities that use creative skills and to create learning opportunities for children. When planning activities, there are a range of things that we need to consider. We need to think about the interests and age range of the children. In terms of their interests and preferences, it's ideal to observe them beforehand and see the kinds of things they're particularly interested in, so you could build those interests into the activities, whether it's an interest in animals or dinosaurs or trains, whatever it is. Linking it to the EYFS learning and development areas, and we can see that's quite easily done. Age-appropriate resources. We have to consider the safety of the environment and the safety of the resources that we're using. What are our aims and what are we trying to get out of the session, or what are the learning outcomes that we want for the children? When and where is the session going to be? How long it's going to be? Is it something that you feel that you can engage the children in for that length of time? And what's the role of adults going to be? You know, what's the balance going to be between child-initiated and adult-initiated play? We really want to give children as much free range as possible in terms of creative activities to do what they want to do. Vocabulary is another huge side of it, because through creative play they're going to be discovering lots of new things, lots of new words, and learning what they are. And also we can have a range of key questions planned in advance to sort of really ask children to draw things out. So we've got a range of activities here that you could either use in your setting or you can use at home. This is a great one. The noisy paint box you can see on the left is the cover of the book. It's a book, and it's a really fascinating story about an abstract painter called Vasily Kandinsky. And he actually experienced colours as sounds and sounds as colours. So this is a fascinating resource to really inspire children in terms of creativity and look at things in a very, very different way. So I've got a very, very short video here that tells you about this story. So I'm going to play it. It has got subtitles, so if you can't hear the sound, it doesn't matter, but it should be fine. Okay, so that tells you a bit about the book and what a great resource that would be to spark and inspire some creative activities. So this is one such activity you could do based around Kandinsky's work. So on the left-hand side is one of his famous paintings, Concentric Circles. So you could create a circle-themed interest table based upon this. Ask the children to look around them, inside and outside, for circular objects and images. Ask parents to send in circular objects and images, and then set them up on the table and have some pictures of Kandinsky's famous painting. So, I mean, they may come up with things like eyes, buttons, pizzas, patterns on bowls, CDs, things like onions cut in half, or a target board, or polo mints, all kinds of everyday objects. And the children can paint then the objects that they choose and then compare them to Vasili's famous painting and see, you know, how many circles there are around them, especially in nature as well. So another activity based on Kandinsky's art, and of course you could do the same things based on other artists' art. Children can make their own interpretation of his famous paintings, and they can work with shapes at their own pace to figure out the correct sequence of sizes. So that's why some of these abstract paintings are really great for something like this. They've got circles in all different colours and all different sizes, dissected by lines. So children could paint their own, they could cut out the circles, they could put them into order. They could use a variety of different art techniques to produce work with all different textures and effects. And they can look at their own and others and look at the similarities and differences between them. So here are some other really good resources in terms of books that can inspire and stimulate creative activities and expressive art. The one in the middle, called Round by Jennifer Wood. This is a great book really for exploring many of the round things in nature. It looks at things like the seasons, it looks at birds' nests, raindrops, flowers, apples, snowflakes, lots of things. So it's a great stimulus to create activities around. And then the one on the right hand side, The Dreaming Giant. This is another book that is based again on Kandinsky's paintings, and particularly a painting called Blue Sky. And it's about the mind of a gentle sleeping giant who in his dream stumbles into a village of tiny people, and they're frightened of him to start off with, but they soon realise that he's a gentle giant. So again, all kinds of activities can be created around these great books and pieces of art. So moving on to some other types of activities, we've got outdoor patterns. This is a great project and activity for children to do because you only need some plain paper and some wax crayons. So you can take the children outside and show them how to make rubbings of different raised textures on walls, on trees, on bricks, and get them to work with a partner. So they have to cooperate with their partner. One of them can hold the paper in place while they rub the crayons. They can work out, you know, what technique works best. Is it better to put the crayon on the side? Is it better to hold it upright? And then you can go with them and get them to collect a range of leaves from different trees and plants and bring them back inside, and then make rubbings with the leaves on a flat surface and look at how that turns out. So such a range of things you can do with just some crayons and a piece of paper. Here's another great activity. Children love Play-Doh. It's a real favourite, and they can make so many different things with them. But to actually make the Play-Doh is a great opportunity for them. So it can be made out of a variety of things that you can find just generally in the kitchen: flour and salt and water. Things like the cream of tartar and the vegetable oil can make Play-Doh last longer, but you can actually make it without them. In order to get your Play-Doh to last when you've made it, seal it in a plastic bag or in a plastic pot, and then it will last a lot longer. So I've got a really short video here about making Play-Doh. Okay, so yeah, it's a really simple and effective way of making Play-Doh there. Another activity would be Beach Hut Town. So in the UK, we have lots of brightly coloured or pastel coloured beach huts along beaches here. And children love to do things like make their own beach hut. So using recycled tea bag boxes that are all the same size, each child can choose a different colour to paint their hut. And then once they've painted their hut, they can make a triangle cardboard roof and then put a lolly stick at the front and paint that into colourful stripes, and then they can put them all together and create their own beach hut town. So a team effort when it comes together. Now this is a great activity that I've recently found out about. It's called the Flower Ice Bowl, and it's pretty simple in terms of all you need is 2 round bowls, one slightly smaller than the other, a jug of water, a selection of fresh flowers or leaves that can be brought in or collected with the children, and then a weight such as a stone or a can. And then in order to make your flower bowl, what you do is you pour water into a bowl, into a shallow depth of 1 inch, and then you put it inside the freezer until it has frozen, the first layer. So then you can put the flowers in between the 2 bowls, push them in, add the water in between the gap, and then once everything's in, then you can put it back into the freezer, and once it's frozen, then you can take it out about 10 minutes before you actually need it, so the ice melts a little bit, and you then have a iced flower bowl. And it's great, so you can do things like, you know, have a fruit tasting session. Fruit can be cut up and put into the flower bowl, and the children love doing that. A common activity is creative self-portraits. So children can use a range of different arts and crafts mediums in order to represent their own image. This can be done, it can be done very simply with just paper plates and pencils and paints, or it can be done with a range of other things like pastels and chalks and crayons, or things like buttons or feathers and natural things that people have collected, like leaves and flowers and twigs. So ensure that the materials are actually enable children to represent themselves, so that they can have diverse skin, hair and eye colours and different types and thickness of hair. Remember that the focus is on the process rather than the actual final product. We're not looking for a lifelike product at the end of it, that most of all it's about having fun. So the paper plates are cheap, and it's a fun way to do something like this. And in the end, you could display this in class. The plates could have the child's name on it, and the children could all say a couple of their likes and preferences, and it could all go up in a collage to show what a diverse group they are, that they all look different and they all like different things. Oh, here's another great one, water play and water and small world play. Again, pretty simple. It's about creating a marine environment for children to play with their sea animals and boats. So you just need your miniature animals, miniature boats, maybe some suitable plants to act as seaweed or something like that. Then you can put it all into a large bowl or basin. A couple of drops of blue food dye to make the marine ocean colour, and the children love this because the water is great for making ripples and waves. You can talk about the objects, which things float, which things don't. You can learn the names of the different animals. If you've got shells and things like that, you can use it. So it's a great little activity for learning a range of things, including like new vocabulary as well. There's a never-ending list really of other activities that you could use in terms of expressive art and creative activities. Just a few other things you could think of are things like still life drawings and paintings, could be based on household objects or natural objects. You could do activities and modelling and creations out of recycled active recycled materials that parents can bring in, so that doesn't cost anything at all. Maybe there's local businesses around you that can support you. You could ask the local florist to give you their leftover flowers that are going to be thrown away at the end of the day for the children to actually paint. Because craft activities resources are quite expensive and get used up really, really quickly. So the more you can make use of the materials that are around you, the better, and children love using them as well. And doing simple things like finger bugs, so finger printing and then drawing around that to make bugs, or just using leftover bits of paper in order to make designs and images. So there is obviously a never-ending list. So how do creative activities support children's development? Well, they support children's development in a number of ways. We've got the children's motor skills. Arts activities, they support large and small muscle development, as well as improving hand-eye coordination. So when children are doing the smaller, more delicate things, obviously that's for their fine motor skills, but if they're doing maybe large paintings and constructing things, and that's going to support their gross motor skills as well. Language development and language skills, you can see that, taking part in creative activities, they don't just make art, but they're learning new words all the time for colours, the shapes, the actions that they're doing, maybe for the resources and tools that they're using. And as they get older, they can express what they like about the activity, expanding their vocabulary at the same time. So creative activities promote imagination and experimentation, encouraging imaginations to grow and enabling children to experiment and come up with ideas and new ways of thinking. These are really useful skills to have in life. Cognitive development. So it's not just about language. Cognitive development relates to memory, decision making and problem solving. Again, very useful skills to have. So even something simple as experimenting with paints and mixing two paints together gives children the opportunity to judge these things. Can they remember from last time what colour or which colour those two colours make? Are they going to decide to do that and use that colour in their painting? So they're going to use their own judgment for that. Emotional development. So creative activities are very good for emotional development and emotional well-being. They enable children to express experiences that they're not yet able to verbalise, and they provide opportunities to really value a child's creativity and help raise their self-esteem. So it can really help them feel valued as a person and increase their confidence, build up their confidence and their self-esteem. Social development. So some creative activities can be done alone, but creative activities can also be done in groups. And these group work can encourage children to work together on different projects. They learn how to share, they learn how to cooperate, they learn how to interact together. So these kinds of activities encourage responsibility and independence. So at the end of it, part of the actual activity is for them to help clean up, put things away, and take on that kind of responsibility. Visual learning. So creative activities, obviously drawing, playing with plasticine, threading beads onto a string, all of these help develop vital visual spatial skills. So many children learn through visual information before they even start to read. So it's a very important aspect of their learning and development. And creative activities are really good for promoting intrinsic motivation. And we all need intrinsic motivation in our lives, really, to carry us through and motivate us, yeah. So focusing upon the process enables children to freely express themselves without worrying what others are thinking. So, we want children to enjoy what they're doing for the sake of it, to enjoy engaging in it and do things for the joy of it, really. If we spend a lot of time focusing on the final product, this can be detrimental, really, to them, because we want them to enjoy the process, because that's what they get the most out of. Even if we're praising the end product a lot, then this could make the child more likely to do things for our approval, and not really do things for themselves. So the process is all important. So why is drawing important? Well, drawing is a natural process for children. They don't have to learn it, it just happens naturally. It's a child's way of expressing and understanding the world around them and all the things that are important to them. So drawing really helps build up their fine motor skills, their hand-eye coordination, their creative expression. It really is a foundation of pre-writing skills, so leads on to writing, and really helps in terms of developing their attention span, and as we've seen, their cognitive understanding of concepts. And children do go through some general stages in terms of their development for drawing. Around 12 months, there's random scribbles and lines. It's really about exploring, developing their motor coordination, developing their muscles, etc., and their control. Around 2 years, their scribbles become more controlled and first shapes start to emerge. Around 3 years, first attempts at drawing people. So images have meaning and represent things to them. Even if they're not recognisable to us, they are definitely representing things to them. At 4 years, patterns emerge more, and they can combine shapes to form basic images. So they have more detail included in their drawings of people, etc. And then from around 5 years, they start to include a lot more in their drawings. So could have a range of animals, houses, plants, vehicles, and letters as well. Writing starts emerging as well into their art, into their drawings. So I think it's very, very important to encourage. So here's another great activity that can lead to so many outcomes for children in terms of their learning and development. It's called the Frozen Ocean Animal Rescue. And what you need for this is some miniature ocean creatures and plants that could be used as seaweed. You need a mixing bowl, and you need the other things you can see in the picture here. You need some water in some squeezy bottles with a couple of drops of food colouring, some salt with maybe a drop or two of food colouring in, and then a big shallow basin to put it all in with your tools, which is like cutlery and mini tongs, and put it on something waterproof really, so that it doesn't get wet everywhere. And then in order to create your initial frozen animal ocean, what you can do is with your bowl, you just put the water in your bowl, put in all your miniature ocean creatures and plants, and put that in the freezer for a couple of hours to actually freeze. And then when you take it out, put it into the big basin like this, and you're ready to start the activity. So what you do is you put the frozen ocean into the bowl, and then investigate this with the children, so they can investigate, they can have a look, they can see what animals can they see, do they know the names of the animals, how does that animal move, what does that animal do. Then we can start to look at, how can we actually free these animals that are trapped into this frozen ocean, so they can use all of the tools at their disposal. They can squirt the coloured water at the frozen ocean. They can rub coloured salt in to melt the ice, and then they can use the tools that they've got, the cutlery and the tongs, to start working away. It's a team effort really, in order to actually release these trapped animals, and then celebrations when they've released all the animals into the flowing ocean bowl. So, and as the ice melts, the ocean is flowing. So it's a great learning and development activity, but it's really, really fun. And the kinds of outcomes for children are things like cooperation and teamwork. It's great for encouraging focus and concentration, great for your fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination, determination and perseverance, vocabulary, names of the animals, and some science as well. The ice is melted by the salt. So a great activity to do. So in summary, then, we've had a look and we've reviewed the importance of creativity in early childhood education. We've explored how to plan activities that use creative skills to create learning opportunities, a variety of learning opportunities. And we found out how creative activities can support children's development in a really wide range of ways. And we've made lots of links to the EYFS, and there's lots of activities there that you can take away and use. So as I said at the beginning, this links in with our iCQ Level 3 Diploma in Children's Learning and Development. So this qualification, as we said earlier, is a licence to practice in the UK. It has 9 mandatory units and a minimum of 3 optional units. It takes about a year to complete. You might be interested to see some of the actual unit titles within this qualification, because we've been taking different topics out of the units to create these free webinars. So you can see that the topics are things like education and development, the early years foundation stage, diversity and equality, effective teaching and learning, assessment and productive use of assessment, informed professional practice. Do you mind muting? Thank you. Health and safety and well-being, and child protection and safeguarding and partnership working in early years. So that just gives you a flavour of the mandatory unit titles. There are optional units as well. So a little bit about iCQ, if you don't know about them. They are a regulated UK awarding organisation. They're regulated by the government via Ofqual. They're one of only 10 UK awarding organisations that are approved to offer the early years educator qualifications, which provide the licence to practice. All their qualifications sit on the UK regulated qualifications framework, the RQF. And they are very supportive and have a strong focus upon quality assurance. And they're working away with hundreds of training providers already. So just a quick summary of the benefits. The qualification is a licence to practice within the UK. It's levelled against the qualifications on the European framework, the EQF, at level 4. And it provides enhanced career prospects and job opportunities. So just thinking back to your individual reflections, thinking back over the past couple of weeks, and how many different creative activities have you been planning and undertaking with children? And I hope that you've got some more ideas and things and activities that you can do from this webinar. The benefits, how many developmental benefits did you actually identify? Did you identify all the ones that we've covered in this webinar? Because once we start thinking about it, the benefits are a lot more wide ranging than initially thought. And then what are your favourite creative activities? Maybe that's something that you could put into the chat and tell us, what are your favourite creative activities to actually do with children? What do you specifically enjoy or particularly enjoy doing? So as I said, this is part of a series of free CPD webinars. Look out then for next month in November, we've got outdoor play, and December we've got speech, language and communication. And if you have any particular subjects that you'd like us to do webinars on, maybe put that in the chat as well. Or actually, there is a question on the Survey Monkey which is being sent out to you, so you can put that on there. So what to do next? Please do fill in your Survey Monkey that you will have received by now in your email, because that tells us what you think about the webinar and what your interests are and what information you want sent out. If you would like to claim or purchase your webinar attendance certificate, I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. If you want information on our short online courses, we can send that out to you. And if you want to sign up for our UK regulated iCQ Early Years Educator Diploma, just ask for more information in SurveyMonkey, or today, just drop us an email, and then register for the next month's seminar. Very briefly, these are our Tiger Laser online short CPD courses. There's over 60 to choose from. They run for about 6 to 10 hours, and they have a downloadable certificate of achievement. They have a variety of resources on there, like video tutorials, best practice examples, reading presentations, and there's a multiple choice quiz. Normally they're £30 each, but at the moment we're doing a discount for those people that are attending the webinars, 5% off. As I said, there's 60 to choose from. So, and the areas cover things like early years, foundation stage, special educational needs. We've got lots of those on things like autism, Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, lots on learning and development, management and leadership if you want to progress onwards in your career, and health, safety and well-being. And if you want to buy the certificate, the attendance certificate for the webinar is £15, but we do a bundle together with a short course. If you want to do that, it comes to £38.50 for the two together. So here we are. Yeah, so if you do want to purchase your attendance certificate, then if you're located in Egypt, please email Hala. If you're located outside of Egypt, just drop us a line on info@tiger.org. So that's the end of our webinar today. Is there any questions then?
I want to see how she presented it. I wish I'd seen it.
Vicky, I can hear you.
Can you? Sorry.
You're online.
So has anybody got any questions? I'm going to stop sharing my PowerPoint now and see.
It'd be good to it would be good if people could think about any of the slides that they've just seen, and if there are any questions, because I think the more questions that you have, the more you can get out of the webinar. So I'm sure there must be 1 or 2 questions out there. Don't be shy.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Hello, my name is Lena. I work as a co-teacher in the EYFS at the British School of Egypt.
Oh.
I'm from Egypt. I was thinking for my professional development to go whether through the iCQ Level 3 diploma or the IPGCE from the Leicester University. So I don't know which one to go through first, which one provide a higher degree or higher credit hours. That's why I've attended the webinar today, because I want to know more details, which one to go through first. I'm interested to work at the EYFS stage, and key stage 1 maybe later on, but not now. And I want to be qualified. I'm not planning to work in the UK, honestly, but I'm working in a British school. They care about the UK qualifications, because I'm a co-teacher now, and I'm planning to be a class teacher. So I have to be UK qualified, but I don't know which one to go through first, whether to go through the iCQ Level 3 diploma or the IPGCE from Leicester University. Second question, the iCQ Level 3 diploma to be an early years qualified teacher, is it restricted only for a level 3, or there are many degrees to go through, for example, level 3 and then level 4 and then level 5, or it's just a level 3? This is what I want to ask about also. Thank you.
Well, we can tell you about the level 3 ICQ diploma in children's learning and development, and Hala can tell you about the IGPCE. As it very much depends what you want to do. The level 3 ICQ diploma is, as we say, that qualifies you to work and to be an early years educator with children, you know, from birth to 5 years old, with knowledge up to 7. And it is, as you said, if you want a UK recognised qualification, it is a UK recognised qualification. And will be recognised in other countries, as I said as well. So it depends what what your plans are afterwards. In terms of credits, it will have some UCAS points. I can find out for you how many points it has, because all of the early years educator qualifications carry some level of UCAS points, which can be used in the UK to go to university. But it doesn't sound like that's, you don't. Depends what your plans are. If you're wanting to use it to go to university, then you'll want to know about the UCAS points that are in it. But I can find that out for you.
Thank you so much. Because what I know that, for example, the IPGCE, okay, it's equivalent to a master degree, right? This is
no. Can I stop you here? Sorry. No, can I stop you here?
Yes.
I think rightly, as Jack and Sarah said, if you like to focus on the early years area, there is no point of doing the IPGCE. It's double the price and you are not going to use it, okay?
Yes.
If your intention to teach beyond the early years, this is very different story, primary and secondary. Yes, the IPGCE will be very appropriate. The IPGCE only give you a third of a master degree, 60 points, CAT points, because a master degree here in England is 180 CAT points. So having completed the IPGCE, you will finish with 60 CAT points, which is only third of a master, which will enable you, should you wish to continue with a master in education, for example, in the future, you can do so. For you to gain another 120 CAT points. So rightly, as they said, it depends really what you want to do. Bearing in mind the IPGCE entry requirements are very, very tough. You must have an honor degree in the subject you are specialized in or in your degree. So, for example, if you are graduated from Cairo University or Ain Shams University, I don't know, and you got excellent or very good, that might not be equivalent to an honor degree. It might not, because I was admission tutor for years and years in universities. So there is something called NARIC, which you will have to validate your degree. So probably you will need a higher degree on top of your degree to enable you to come out with an honor degree. They will ask you as well for 6.5 IELTS. So the entry requirement for the IPGCE is much higher because the academic writing skills are very, very higher or much higher than the ICQ. So it depends all really on what you want to do. There is no point of paying, for example, £2,000 more for something which you might not use in the future, because ICQ will open the doors for you in nurseries and preschools exactly the same at half of the price. So at the end of the day, it's your decision. If you got the entry requirement for the IPGCE or you don't have the early requirement for your long-term plan, if you want to do a master in education or you like to stop at this point, nobody can answer this question.
Okay,
I mean,
so
in terms of the level 3, it does in the UK. It does provide entry in the same way that A levels do into a early childhood degree course or similar. So it's the required, for early years is one of the ways that people can enter into university with that level 3 qualification. So people can enter directly with that instead of doing the, as they call it, A levels in the UK. It is equivalent to 3 A levels.
Oh, okay. Can I ask another question?
Sure.
My question is, if I go through the ICQ level 3 diploma, will it provide me like the same credit hours, like third of the master degree like the IPGCE is going to provide me, or this is something separate? I mean, if I want to go through a master degree afterwards, so if I go through the iCQ level 3 diploma, does it provide me with credit hours that will make me eligible to go through a master degree afterwards or not?
It's equivalent to three A levels, and it will give you entry into a degree, an early childhood degree at a UK level. So it will give you entry into that. There is a level 4 and a level 5, and the level 5 is for management in early years. And we have a level 5, which is equivalent to first and second year degree course. But because these are vocational qualifications, they're specific for a license to work in the sector. So they're the qualifications in the UK and in the UAE as well for access to employment in the sector would be 5 and under. So they have a different, people take these qualifications for different reasons, I suppose. If you're working in an international school, then the level 3 for early years would be something you should ask your, your senior team if that would be acceptable, if that was something that they would take on board as a qualification for you within your school. It should be. It's on the Ofsted Ofqual register in the UK, and it is, as I said, it's a license to practice. Also enables you to go on to a UK university. It's equivalent to 3 A levels for a degree in early childhood. So
does that answer your question, Lena?
Yes, those are my questions. So briefly, just to make, I want to make sure that if I finish level 3, 4, and 5, then afterwards I can go apply for a master degree, or because I want to make sure of this point, please, for the iCQ.
I think, as Jackie said, the vocational qualifications have a different purpose, really, in that they're written by employers within the sector, so they are meant to gain people entry and to get a license to practice within the sector. Now, there is, as Jackie said, there is a level 5, but again, that is around nursery management, preschool management, head of early years, that kind of thing. And so if you're in a deputy position or a management position, or you are able to carry out those roles, then you can go on and take the level 5. And that will count towards, the level 5 would also count towards entry into a university to do an early childhood or some kind of related degree. But the credits don't tie up. They're not really on the same system in terms of the gaining entry into a master's. So it's kind of different purpose, really.
Okay, so because before I was just asking, like, if me and someone else, in the school, but the other one is an IPGCE holder and me is an iCQ level 3 diploma holder. So are we going to be on the same qualification level, or he will be higher, or me, I'll be higher, or it will be the same? It's according for the department, which key stage am I working in?
Can I step here, please, because there is element of confusion. We got qualification framework in England. The ICQ is at level 3, which is equivalent to A level, which will entitle you to have a degree after that in childhood education if you wish to do so. The IPGCE is postgraduate. You must finish your degree first, hold an honor degree under your belt to be able to do the IPGCE, and is done at level 7. So the IPGCE is more academic, more rigorous, more expensive, more demanding than the ICQ. As I said, it all depends on your future plans. If your future plans to teach primary and secondary and to hold a master in education, so it's the IPGCE. If your future plan to remain as early years teacher and to take that busway, and you can after that progress to level 5 for leadership and management in early years, so the ICQ will be the best option for you and the good value for your money. It depends on really what you want to do to enable us to advise you which route to go for.
Okay, thank you so much. And I would like to know the starting dates, yes, for the ICQ diploma. Is it done just once per year, or there are many starting dates, or the details, please, for the starting dates for the ICQ Level 3 diploma?
Jack and Sarah, do you like to answer this?
We're hoping to start a group in the next month or so. We need to get a few more people for the cohort, and then we'll start. So if we've got your details already, we can send you all of that information through, so you can see that. Do we have your email details?
Yeah,
yes.
I've been emailing you, Lena, haven't I? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Sarah can send you some additional information about start dates and and what the process is from there. Yeah.
Okay. Another question. I'm sorry for asking too many questions.
Too many.
Can I ask another question, please?
Yes. Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to ask about the assignments or the assessments being done in the ICQ Level 3 diploma, because the principal, my school, she does care about the practical observations. Like, for example, the IPGCE from Sunderland University, there are mentors come from the university to observe us in the classroom to make an lesson observation. Okay, so she cares about this point. So is this available in the ICQ Level 3 diploma?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a work-based qualification, so you have to be, working in an early years setting in order to take it. And the assessments are divided into two areas. One is the written knowledge areas, and they can be assessed in a variety of different ways, using tasks or reflections, or using your work products that you produce at work. And then the practical side of it can be assessed in the main way it's assessed is through observations in your workplace. So your assessor will come out to you in your workplace and will plan it beforehand and observe you undertaking a range of different skills and activities, and then make a judgment as to whether you're competent and give you some feedback. And there may be other things like professional discussions with your assessor, reflections upon your practice, and maybe even the odd expert witness testimony when it's more appropriate for an expert witness person to actually watch what you're doing and then write a testimony up, and then your assessor can decide from that if you're competent. So yeah, there's a wide range of ways that this can be assessed, including observation in the workplace, which is a very important part of it. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So the assessor will be from your side or from my side. And shall I choose a mentor or assessor from my school, for example, or from your side?
No, we will provide an assessor for you, and we will work with that assessor, and that assessor will work with you to plan the assessments and come out and do them.
Okay, thank you so much. And the last thing is,
couple of points here. Of course, will be group discount for the ICQ if you come with group of teachers in your settings. That of course will be taken into consideration. Just something for you to think about if other people are interested. We ran before very successful CPDs with international schools in Egypt, like Nefertari School, and went down extremely well. If the school is interested in CPDs and some of the units of the ICQ, to see what's like, and after that you can continue to do the full qualification. That again can be available through Tiger and EBA. So that's something for you if you like to think about. If you like to know more about the qualifications, we got Dr. Marwa Fikri, who completed the diploma last year, and she is now got the license to practice in the UK in early year setting or preschools. Very happy to put you in touch with her, so she will tell you more about the assessment modes and the observation and the kind of things which she undertook for a year. So that's something please will help you. We can arrange it for you as well. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm interested.
Okay, great. That's great. Who else is interested? We like at least 4 out of this webinar to be interested, so we can start 1st of November.
Okay, honestly, after attending this webinar, I will go to my head of key stage at my school, and I will tell her all the details about the ICQ level diploma. So if my school is going to recognize the ICQ level diploma as a UK qualification to be on the same qualification levels as the other qualified teachers in our school, so maybe 2 or 3 more people can come and join me in the ICQ level 3 diploma. But I need her approval after telling her all the details about the ICQ level 3 diploma.
That's for definite. And again, Jackie and Sarah are available. We can arrange for a Skype meeting with your head teacher, and we can provide them with more details about the ICQ. Everything is done now through the Zoom. So really, life is much, much easier. There is no problem. We have done it before with international schools, and it was very successful experience. So if she's interested in finding out more, by all means, we can arrange a Zoom meeting or a Skype meeting with her, and we talk in more details about the qualifications and the career pathways.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay.
And that's for everybody here as well. Not only Linda, is that right, Linda?
Lina.
Lina, sorry, not only
Yes.
Lina, but for every participant. If you are thinking of taking the qualifications, if you like more colleagues to join in, if you like to have a private discussion about more details with Jackie and Sarah, I don't think they will mind at all, provided we got things really fixed in our diaries with head teachers will do so. So we are very, very flexible and a small team, and really the advantage that we provide very personalized service. And that's something maybe somebody like Dr. Marwa Fikri and others who undertaken this qualification can tell you about their personal experience. You will find Jackie and Sarah always at the end of the line answering your questions, your queries. They're absolutely wonderful. What a great support, genuinely. We couldn't have done it without them. That's true.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Nice to hear it.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And everybody said that in the end of the year evaluation that Jackie and Sarah have been absolutely wonderful. I've learned, it was a steep learning curve for me as well to run that program with them, but I've learned so much. It has been very rich experience, and we are looking forward for following groups, definitely.
So what is the minimum number of members in order to start the ICQ level 3 diploma?
Well, do you want to answer, Jackie and Sarah? I don't want to hijack the conversation.
I think I mean in a school situation, it's really you know, if you have a small group in the school, we can work with that. The groups we had before, people are individuals coming from, you know, different backgrounds. So you know, it would depend. We haven't got a fixed number. We just look at the project as a whole. So if your school came to us with a small group, you know, we would definitely consider that. It's easier to do a small group in the same place than it is to do, you know, diverse people from you know,
different schools,
sides of Cairo and Alexandria and etc. So yeah, just you know, we can look at that with you, and when we have further conversations with you or your senior team, then we can look at that.
Okay.
We're not looking for, we work with fairly small groups. Our group in Pakistan is 8. There is a group in Abu Dhabi though that was 32 teaching assistants. So, you know, we're very flexible.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
And for all other colleagues as well, sorry, I don't want to shut you up, but we got only 7 minutes because we got other events really tied up this evening, unfortunately. But as I said, Jackie and Sarah can be available. We can have another Zoom meeting if individuals like to get in touch with them. I don't think they will mind at all. If you want us to put you in touch with licensed now UK early years teachers who completed the qualifications last year, who are very happy to do so. So please do keep in touch with us. And again, the opportunities of CPDs, which we can deliver any CPD, accredited CPDs to group of teachers in schools, has been a wonderful experience in the Nefertari schools. We very much enjoyed the experience in actual fact, and the feedback has been outstanding. Short courses which they offer. And again, on the 23rd of October, EBA is organizing an early years free seminar where we are going to harness and capture all what we do for early years. So it will be great. It's a free seminar if you like to join us.
Yes, please.
Any last quick questions from anyone else, if anyone else is still there, or you can leave your
Thank you.
question in the comment box. Thanks.
Thank
for the
you so
question,
much.
Lena. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. No,
Thank you,
See you.
Lena.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Jack and Sarah. I highly, really appreciate your time. Thanks very much for all participants on Zoom and also on Facebook. Thanks for the eBay team, and looking forward to receiving your messages, your queries. Please do keep in touch. I'm very happy to arrange another meetings with you. No worry at all. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you
and
very
very
much,
good evening to you
Nicola.
all. Thank you. By the way,
Thanks
the
everyone
event
for
is
attending.
the event is live now on Facebook, and it has been recorded as well, okay, in case if anybody asks for the event. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jack and Sarah. It has been absolutely wonderful, the event tonight. Thank you, and looking forward to seeing you all on the 12th of November for another theme from the CPD Jack and Sarah offer us. Thank you.
Thanks very much then.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Nadine. Thanks, Nadine, for all your hard work. Thanks, Nadine. Where is Nadine? I have to mention Nadine on her own now. Thanks, Nadine. You made it. It has been a great, great event. Thank you very, very much. Sorry, it's just an oversight to mention your name. She's a program manager. She has been working day and night, making contact with colleagues. Thank you very much, Nadine. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Jackie, and thank you, Sarah. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Night, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.